You know, sometimes you put a lot of effort into your makeup and you really want it to be perfect. And sometimes you just throw on your everyday face and then you do a Snapchat and then you get a ton of requests to film a tutorial on this look. And by ton, I mean 3. But anyway, this is the look I was wearing through my vlogs and Snapchats for the last 2 months. Let's see how I fare with a talk through tutorial. At first, I'm using the Bobbi brown corrector in the color light Bisque, and I'm applying that just with my fingers to my under eye area, just to cancel out dark circles. Next thing I'm using is by Maxfactor, and it's the liquid eyeshadow. It's Masterpiece. It's written down there because it's very old in the color coffee, and I just messily apply that all over my lip, and it will act as a base color and give the eyeshadow something to stick to. While that dries, I'm taking the Estée Lauder Double Wear Concealer in the color light medium. I just quickly apply that over the areas where I have scarring that needs covering or redness that I want to conceal. While that dries, I'm taking just a fluffy brush and blend out the eyeshadow. It's important to give that eyeshadow a little time to dry. Once it's set, but if you start blending too early, everything will be gone. Then I'm using the MAC quad, it's limited edition quad, and the eyeshadow I'm using is in the color Flip. Again, the same fluffy brush, just loading it up with the golden color, and apply that on top in windshield wiper motion. When that's done, I'm using the dark brown color here on a flat shader brush, just the tip, and going in underneath my lower lash line just to give some dimension to the eyes. This is something that I did not used to do regularly, but I've started. Now it's time to buff out the concealer, and I'm taking a flat top kabuki. This one is by Maybelline, and just buff that into my skin without dragging the product too much around. That works great if you have some larger areas you want to cover, because I just can't be bothered every day with pinpoint concealing on these areas. Another concealer, a light one, this is the Collection Lasting Perfection, and it's almost empty. Goes on top of my cheekbones and in the inner corner of my eye where is a lot of darkness. And while that sits again, I'm taking a black liner, the L'Oréal Superliner in extra black gloss, and now I have to grab my mirror because I just can't do it otherwise. And I'll be doing, oh, I can't talk while I'm doing a liner, sorry. Just doing a thin line on top of my lash line, no wing, because this is just an everyday makeup that I throw on before I go to the playground with the kids. And while that one sets, I'm going in with the buffing brush by Real Techniques and buff the light concealer out, taking it on the bridge of my nose as well for some highlighting in the inner part of my bag. And if there's anything left in the inner corners, I'll be dabbing along with my fingers. Time to do my brows. Just giving them a quick brush up. And then I'm filling in the shape. Sorry, I have to lean forward. My brows need different things. That one needs a little help on the upside because it's thinner than the other one, and that one starts a little later, so I have to emphasize the starting point. And just using some clear brow gel. This one's by Alverde, very cheap, very effective, and brush the hair into place. Time for mascara. Lancôme Grandiose mascara. I like drama on my lashes every day, and that one's getting pretty old, so I really need to use it up. It's way too expensive to be thrown out. I'm not quite sure if that's a great placement for the mirror. I feel like I'm looking down all the time, or if I should take it into my hands. Tell me in the comments where you prefer the mirror, like that or over there. The eyes are finished. I'm moving on to the rest of my face, and I've done some concealing. My spot marks are barely noticeable, so I'm going in with a powder. This one's by Sephora, and it's the Microsmooth Baked Face Compact in the color Light. I can only wear that when I'm tanned, but I like it in the summertime because it applies matte at first, but gives a more natural finish within a few minutes, but it has at least medium coverage. And it doesn't cake on me if I reapply, which I need to when it's hot. Some blush. The one I was using was the MAC Satin Powder Blush in the color Fade Fast, a limited edition product. I'm just using a powder brush and applying that to the apples of my cheek. I'm using a little more than I usually would because the camera tends to eat up the color, wash me out. That's the word I was looking for. So if I wouldn't, you could barely notice it. It's a little too much for every day. Then some basic, very, very basic contour and highlighting. Real Techniques contour brush and the Prime and Fine contour kit by Catrice. It's a powder that was, I use a cream contour for filming, and I just put the contour where my cheekbones would start and along my jawline to counteract sagginess that comes with age. Then I'm taking a fan brush and the highlight shade and dusting that on top of the cheekbones. I'm not sure if you're going to see anything on camera. If I feel like the contour is too visible, I go over it with my kabuki that I use for the powder foundation, but it is pretty subtle and not that noticeable in real life. And lastly, I finish with a lipstick, and that one's my Lipstick Queen in the color Saint Coral. And there you go. That's my everyday makeup.